All right, so for our introductions, I'm going to start off. My name is Ms. Juarez. I'm the parent liaison here. I've done a couple of meetings already, but for those of you that aren't aware, I work for Title I program, and that's essentially a federal program funding that they provide to the schools based on the zoning of it. So global impact falls under that additional funding that Hey, you guys are being really loud. Can we bring it down some? Thanks, guys. All righty. Mr. B and Mr. Hayes, if one of you all want to continue with our introductions.
Good evening, y'all. Good evening to all parents and students. My name is Isaac Malarafu. Students that call me Mr. P. And I teach Algebra 1 and also accelerated geometry in Algebra 2. I enjoy teaching to my students and I love what I do, and I'm always here to assist my students anytime you are more than welcome to connect with contact through email or through a phone or whatever, doing some communication. We are here to assist you on whatever. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. B.
Good evening, I'm Mr. Hayes.
Could you stand closer to the computers? Oh, thank you, Mr. Hayes.
Good evening, I'm Mr. Hayes. Students call me Mr. Hayes. I teach algebra and Algebra 2 honors. I love math. You're gonna hear that math is hard, but I always say math is easy when you put in the work. But you do have to put in the work. All right.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I am Miss Avra. I currently teach geometry and honors geometry for our scholars here. So I have honors 9th graders and mostly 10th graders. I'm the opposite. I will tell my students math is hard from day one. But like he said, if you put the work in, it helps out. But it's still hard.
Thank you so much. So those are our 3 current math teachers here at Global Impact, and we are very grateful to have them. We have 3 objectives for this meeting for you all. The first one is for you all to meet your child's math teacher. You put a face to a name and, just create more of a personal connection there. We will be learning this evening about ALEKS, which is a program that the math department, all 3 of them, use with the students. And last, we're going to be learning about the ways in which you all as parents and guardians can get involved for your child's academic success. So we're going to be jumping right in. This is a video that is going to give us just kind of like a summarized information of what ALEKS is, so you all know how it works and why our school, uses it.
ALEKS, an artificial.
Is it gonna?
This is ALEKS, an artificially intelligent, web-based learning and assessment system. To understand what makes ALEKS the most effective learning system ever created, let's look at the science behind how it works. Science developed over decades of research at top universities. Let's take a look at Sam, a 9th grader who is struggling with Algebra 1. The first thing ALEKS needs to do is determine Sam's knowledge state. Sam's knowledge state is everything he already knows in Algebra 1. To get a basic understanding of what goes into computing a knowledge state, let's pretend that instead of consisting of several hundreds of topics, Algebra 1 only consisted of 5 topics. But even with only 5 topics, there are 32 possible knowledge states, or combinations of these topics. Now, some of these states are so impractical that in reality, there are actually only 13 feasible knowledge states that a student could fall into. All the feasible knowledge states are organized into a learning space, a mathematical structure specifying the relationships among the knowledge states and showing which topics the student is ready to work on. To move from one knowledge state to another within the learning space, the student must learn a new topic or forget the previously learned. So our example involved only 5 topics. But if we look at the full Algebra 1 course, consisting of hundreds of topics, there are over 1 trillion feasible knowledge states that a student could fall into. ALEKS can accurately and efficiently assess where each student is among these trillions of knowledge states and know their exact position at all times. This is no simple task, and it's a task that hasn't been achieved by any other program. All of this works because mathematical cognitive scientists and software engineers at ALEKS have spent years gathering data from millions of actual students using the program. This data allows ALEKS to construct all feasible knowledge states and how they're structured together into a learning space, leading to personalized pathways to course mastery for every student, no matter where they start. It all begins with a pre-individualized assessment. Using learning space theory, ALEKS intelligently chooses each question based on the student's responses to all previous questions to determine what the student has mastered, not mastered, and exactly what topics he is ready to learn. The student sees their knowledge state as a multicolored pie chart, which lets them know what topics are available to explore. Everything happens step by step, one topic at a time, as ALEKS continually updates Sam's knowledge state and ready to learn possibilities. ALEKS constantly watches and records his successes and failures, and this information is used to guide Sam along one of his optimal learning paths through the trillions of knowledge states in the learning space. Only ALEKS has that power. Because of this constant evaluation, ALEKS only presents topics that the student is actually ready to learn. ALEKS challenges the student without frustrating or boring, resulting in tremendous learning momentum and increasing confidence. ALEKS will periodically assess Sam to make sure that he is retaining the material he learns. Research shows that periodic assessments not only ensure retention, but actually increase it. A cycle of individualized assessment and adaptive learning continues throughout the course to ensure that Sam has truly mastered and retained the concepts presented. At the conclusion of the ALEKS course, Sam will have a deeper understanding of the material and dramatically improved mastery over the course topics. ALEKS has already helped millions of students succeed in math, chemistry, and accounting at thousands of schools, colleges, and universities. For more information or for a free trial, sign up at ALEKS.com or call your ALEKS representative today.
Alrighty, so that hopefully gave you all an idea and a better understanding of how the program ALEKS works. We are now going to get into our presentation from Mr. Hayes and Mr. B, who are the Algebra 1 teachers, and they're going to be showing us the way that they use ALEKS for their classes. So, Mr. Vera, how do I get out of the PowerPoint so it does this?
And now it's got your screen. Do you have it? You're showing ALEKS, right?
Yes, he's showing it.
And there you go.
Thank you.
Okay. We have used ALEKS in Algebra 1 primarily as a homework tool. We put topics together based on what we are currently teaching, and we add some previous knowledge, some things they should have learned in 8th grade, 7th grade, and 6th grade. We are using the program to try to bridge the gap that kids have from COVID. So for that year and a half, 2 years that they were not used to studying, used to practicing, we're using this program to install or instill the art of practice back into it. And I'm here to demonstrate 3 aspects of the program that I want parents to see that I've already shown your children starting in September, that they should be adapted to now. Because in my case, I've given a weekly assignment. So they've had like 8-9 weeks of assignments. And in each week, I have built upon this knowledge base. And this is what each student sees. And this is a student view. This is not my view. I did a mock assignment through a student's account so that you can see exactly what the kids see. So when they go into ALEKS, this is what they see.
First time login.
That's showing the first time login? Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is what happens when they first log in. They have to do the knowledge check. I wanted to get to the I did. Even in the knowledge check, you can see how it's building. It's an adaptive learning tool. The kid has they can say, I don't know, or they can submit an answer. And what that does is if they select, I don't know, it will bring it back later and give them something else that hopefully they can answer. I figured it out right quick. Trying to see how many they're going to give me. All right. You have to finish it. And you can see the status bar where it tells you how many questions. You have to complete that status bar before they will give you a different assignment. You could do a fraction. All of this is building and giving them examples of how to do the algebra that we're doing. It's initially set for Algebra 1 material. And as the kids say, I don't know, or if they miss problems, it will start to go back to 8th grade to 7th grade so that it can get a base of where they need to start, and then it starts to bring them forward again. I hate that it won't let me show.
So what happens is when the kids enter the program initially, it will not allow them to see anything except the knowledge check. So if they haven't completed the knowledge check, they're not going to be able to do anything else that's been assigned to them. So that's kind of what's happening right here. And then sometimes you'll get a follow-up knowledge check, and unless the teacher has set it so that it pushes past that and says that you can't get a knowledge check while this is assigned, it's going to immediately have to do this again. So that's kind of what this
It
is.
won't let me go past.
Probably just wasn't assigned to.
Because they're gonna steal
the
the question bar. You need to proceed.
Yeah, so they can continue to work independently on this. And I can show you, if you'll pull up, you want me to go ahead and show what I have?
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Please.
You said the pictures are on your desktop? Mm-hmm. Under Mr. Verify. That's pretty.
Right here, awesome. So I have a couple of images of what happens when you log in. So once a student has taken this initial knowledge check, they will receive, they'll see this icon right here. And what it says is that I want to continue my path. So in my class, I have my students asked to do 40 minutes of practice a week. After that diagnostic test that you were just able to see, they will receive, everybody will receive this, and they'll receive a pie. So this screen tells them what their pie piece is, how much stuff they've actually mastered. Down in this bottom corner, you will see that they get the percentage of this course that they've already mastered. So at the beginning of the school year, if I only got 10% of the class already mastered, it means I'm ahead of the game, because the goal is at the end of the school year to have mastered everything. That just means that you know some of the algebra skills that are important for that class, or for geometry, because that's what my kids are taking. And then you can see how much they've worked each week. You can see any assignments that your student has on this page. It will tell them if you are in Mr. Hayes or Mr. Balarapu's class, the actual assignment will pop up on this screen and it will say they need to do this. So you can just click on it there. And then you will be able to go through, sorry, that's the wrong image. I want this one. They will be able to see, so if they go through and follow my path, like they said, it is designed so that it will actually go towards what that student needs. So I teach geometry. Most kids have completely forgotten how to do fractions. So that's something that I see almost all of my kids working on again, is fractions. So it gives them a little mini lesson like this. It tells them how to do it. And then after they go through that, it will give them a set of problems for this. In the top right-hand corner, and I couldn't show it because I cut off the student's name, there is a blank that tells them, oh no, it's there. So this will tell them right here that they have to answer 5 questions correctly to reach mastery of this topic. And then it has practice right here. Additionally, down at the bottom, if for some reason they went through that tutorial but they still don't get it, there's an explanation button at the bottom. It will explain the problem on their screen, and then it will give them another problem like it to try. So once they get 5 right, it will say they're mastered. And back on the screen I had just showed you, it will now say that I've got 7% plus whatever I've done. So if I've got to the point where I've added 10% or something, it will put me back in that knowledge check just to see what I've retained. And then it will start a new path. So a lot of times I see my kids go back through the knowledge check again, and they have actually mastered more than it said they've added, because those topics have kind of reminded them of other stuff that is in there that they may have forgot the first time, or they didn't, actually pay attention on the first knowledge check. They kind of bombed that first one and they had to do some stuff that they didn't want to do. So now they take it seriously. So in geometry, if they have me as their teacher, I ask them to do 40 minutes a week, because that's less than 10 minutes a day. It is good for them to get on, and it bridges that gap like Mr. Hayes was talking about. In the last couple of years, we haven't done a terrible amount of practice, or we did practice and we didn't have anybody there to check it, and it kind of got in that realm of, why am I practicing? I don't understand this anyway, which I know is super frustrating for our students, and it's hard. So this has that explanation they can fall back on. And then if they are having some issue, I know for me, if they just screenshot it, they can put it on Teams and say, I don't get this. And either another student or I can comment on and go back. So anything like that. Also, if they have me, I don't put the 40 minutes in as a grade. What I do is I give them 20 PBIS points for completing that, because I feel like it's a positive behavior to get in there and to repeat and to practice and to make sure that I'm taking that initiative for myself to make sure that I'm understanding this, because these do not match. Well, some of the students are receiving stuff that matches geometry standards. A lot of our students are going back over stuff that we need to go back over, so it builds to those standards. Yes. Y'all have yours?
He's going to log in.
Okay.
His account. Thank you, Ms. Rivera. All right. So now we'll.
If you haven't, it's not try it again.
Okay.
I tried something different.
Let's see. Here it is.
Go back to the beginning.
Here, I'll let you take over.
Okay, it didn't do it, so just log me in.
You guys have any questions for our math teachers regarding ALEKS? I do want to just remind you all that if you have any specific questions pertaining to your child, we would like for that to be a meeting that we host with you all in private at another time.
Can I
Yes.
show the projectors?
Yeah.
I know they won't be able to see it
Okay.
online, but I do want to show parents.
Okay. So, yes, I'm just going to disconnect the cable and you can connected.
I wanted to show these key features that will help your child. Whenever they have a question on ALEKS, they have options. They're not just out there by themselves. They can go here and get an explanation of the question. They can also go here, which is the one I like the most, and it gives them a full example of how to work the problem, step by step, what they need to do, and it gives them the answer. Once they get that example, they can go back to work the problem that they are given. That's a great feature. The next great feature is, if you go to a question and you don't understand what they're asking, you can go to explanation.
Mr. Hayes, I'm sorry to interrupt. We have on the chat, someone wants to know, where did you go? They said go where?
I'm in the ALEKS program.
On the learning page, they said?
No, I'm on the actual assignment.
Oh, okay.
Kids see.
Okay. Yes, can you answer any questions if you have there?
So this feature is the explanation feature, and as you can see, it explains with detail what's being asked for the child to do. You have to use the distributive property, you have to use subtraction, and the commutative property. Everything they need to know is on the program. I tell my kids, write this down in your notebook when you get an explanation, so that you create a list of examples and explanations that you can refer to later. That's two great features. The third great feature is when you get to the end, and let's say you've missed half of them, you can hit quick retake, and it only gives you the 10 that you missed. It don't give you the whole 20. So that's why I keep telling parents, they can get up to 100. They can do this, they can work it until they get 100. And it helps them to rework the ones they missed so that they can learn from what they missed. Any questions about this up? Yes, ma'am. Just the questions they missed, yes. And it'll be different numbers, but the same topic.
If they want to go back and redo it, there is an option in the top left-hand corner that says review or something like that, and they just click that, and it will give them more questions like stuff they've already mastered.
Any other questions?
Going to be on the right-hand side.
Say it again.
So the explanation,
Yes, it looks just like this.
okay.
Just like this.
Because I see that there was some technical issues with trying to get logged in, but a lot of, I'm not. Don't have the accessibility to be able
Right.
to log into these different apps, and there's so many of them.
Exactly.
So we have to kind of rely on the kind of.
Right.
Say,
You have to go through the student's account.
yeah, okay. They have the withdrawal fuel app. I have it downloaded on my phone so I can save their information. So every time
I wasn't familiar with that. That's great.
This program to withdraw you, so if you download that app, you can log in.
And just so y'all are hearing, what they're saying is that there's a McGraw-Hill app where you can log into this as
Yeah,
well.
that's
The parents are saying that that works very well.
Publishers. And so this is a part of the textbook. Everything we're using is a part of the textbook.
Any other questions? Does anyone on our online have any questions regarding ALEKS? So as you all can see, our students are getting the best of the best in terms of program, as the video explained, that they have pretty much worked so that it tracks where they are and it challenges them for those that, you know, are like, this is nothing. And then, you know, it just pretty much follows them where they are. which I personally think is really amazing for the technology that we've got going on. Did they have any more questions?
I just realized y'all are seeing yourselves. I apologize.
All righty. I'm still thinking on the ALEKS questions. Okay. We're going to give you guys a couple more minutes. Let's say about 2 more minutes for anyone to ask any questions, because our teachers do have to head out for the night, as we do have class tomorrow. We do have someone else typing, so I'm just going to give them.
Does anybody's scholar have geometry? No. I was going to give out a study on it. Like to double up on that.
Alrighty. Thank you guys. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't done. Give me just 1 second. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna release our teachers so that they can finish for. Alrighty, so as our teachers are saying, math is hard, and the key to it is practice every day. That was one of the main things that our teachers really emphasized, that the students should be getting practice in math on every single day that they possibly can. Because since they're on a block schedule, they only get to see our instructors about 3 times a week. So it's very different from seeing your math teacher every single day. This right here is a road to communications map that we would like to share with you all, so that if there is a communication that is made by the teacher, they send out an email regarding the progress of the student or lack of, we would like for you all as parents to respond to that email, just so that the teachers know that that contact was made, and now you guys are aware that they have made that first intent to let you know, something's not right. Your student is falling behind. So it could be as simple as thank you, an okay. That lets the teacher know that that contact was established. So then from there, we would like for you all to speak with your student. Infinite Campus gives you access to their grades in real time. So from there, we would like for you to speak with your child and let them know, hey, I got a message from your teacher. I'm going to log into Infinite Campus right now. Let's take a look at your grades and what's going on. That way, we can now hold the student accountable, because as high school students, we are also preparing them to take responsibility for their actions in their life, and that's a way that we can do that. From there, the student can reach out to the instructor and get that one-on-one time and attend work sessions. And lastly, if they are still having issues and we haven't found a solution for them, then that's when we would encourage you all to hold a meeting between the parents, the students, and as well as the instructor. Now, let's say that you all are trying to get in contact with the teacher for a question on your end or an issue that you may be having. The roadmap for this we will have developed is for you all to send the teachers an email directly, for that to be the first step. And then from there, you all can set up a meeting to address any of the issues that are going on. If that does not give you a response, then you all are more than welcome to send me an email, and I can physically go in and speak with our teacher and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so reached out to me. Have you been able to get in contact with them? Our teachers, as you all are aware, are very busy, so it's not sometimes a matter of they're ignoring you. It's just they're trying to get their schedule situated. So then they can let me know, yes, no, or whatever it is that they plan on doing or when they plan on responding, and then I can get back to you all. Because I know sometimes it's just as simple as also getting that communication in return to know that your email is looked at, that somebody is actually going to address it. And at the end, if all of that is still not working for you all, then at that point, we do encourage for you all to email Ms. Mosley or Dr. Newbold himself. These are some observations that our instructors have made me aware of that wanted to make you all aware of as well. So students are very distracted by their cell phones. And that's something that we obviously know. Everyone's on their phone. However, we would like for you all to have those conversations with your students, that there is a place and time for them to be on their phones. A lot of them are stating that it's you guys, the parents, that are texting them or emailing them. So that kind of puts the teacher in a position, well, all right, well then, write back, or they just kind of, you can't say anything. So what we recommend for that is for you guys to take a look at your student's schedule and know when they're going to lunch. And as many of us, when we were in school, if there was an emergency, your parents called the front office, and that's how you were relayed the message. I'm not saying that that's the case of what you guys have to do, but if any of you all are texting your students while they're in school, please try to make sure that it's during a time where they're not having active learning. Especially during math. We also are seeing some organization skills that are being lacked in, as well as motivation. So these are just some points that they wanted us to point out so that you guys can have those conversations and see where that may be coming from and see what it is that you guys can perhaps do to change that up. I wanted to talk about the ways that we can get math involved in our students' daily life. So on the left, you can see I have listed more specific ways, such as hiring a tutor, helping your child with organization skills through using their cell phones for their actual advantage, like using the calendar on their phone, setting a timer, setting a reminder for when they're going to have tests. Everyone has a smartphone, but students seem to just be very engaged in the social media platforms. Let's teach them how to use those cell phones to set reminders, as I mentioned. I have a test coming up. I should be studying. Reviewing your child's grade through Infinite Campus. Like I said, Infinite Campus will give you a notification in real time of their grade. Go over the use of a calculator. And using the resources that we have at hand for you all, like the one we just went over, which is ALEKS. We also have a program called IXL that has a paid subscription for this entire school year. And Dr. Newbold recommended Khan Academy, which is something that he personally used with his children. And on the right, you can see some of the ways that you guys can involve math in an everyday basis. So if you guys are going to the grocery store and you're paying in cash, let your teenager be the one to pay. You know that nothing's going to happen to them. You're going to be right there behind. So if they're short, and this is a suggestion that I gave to my own sister whose student goes here, maybe throw in a curveball and don't give them the exact amount. What are they going to do when the person's like, you owe me $20? So that you can see how your student responds to, math and having to work it through, as well as communication skills. And like I said, of course, with you back there, please don't just send your kid to the grocery store with, less than $20 and they're going to be freaking out. Cooking recipes. This is a great way to bond, not just for toddlers. I'm sure a lot of us did it with our children when they were really little, baking cookies, but cooking instructions have measurements on there, and that's a great way to get involved. The other option was to encourage your child to track or graph scores from sports teams, fantasy football teams. That's a really awesome way to get math involved as well. We also have, if you're doing any like DIY projects, or if you're remodeling and you're, something as simple as taking out the tape measure, but if you tell your child, hey, go measure how much space I need so that I can put this piece of furniture in, math is being used. And lastly, if you're leaving a tip at a restaurant or anything, ask your student to see, hey, do you know how much 15% of our total for the meal today would be? What would you leave, your server? And then my favorite is when you guys are out shopping with them, if they find an item on clothes that's on sale or anything, Have them do the mathematics right then and there for you. Oh, look, Mom, this is 50% off. Come on, it's so good, such a good deal. All right, well, how much is it actually going to come out to? And if you want to throw in a little challenge, 7% tax for where we live. And that opens up so many conversations. What do you mean tax? A lot of kids are not aware of how different areas have different taxes. So they may think, yeah, some of them may have like, it's $3 in tax. That's here, but if you move, you know, it's going to change. These are all conversations that prepare them not just for math, but for life as well. And so these are some examples that I wanted to give for you guys to get creative with using math every day. Our teachers highly recommend that the kids get on the ALEKS program, and it doesn't have to be for 40 minutes, like Ms. Severa said. That can be broken down into 10 minutes a day. So you can say, hey, have you logged into your ALEKS account today? Did your 10, 15 minutes? That can be their ticket to, you know, go hang out with their friends. I'm not saying to use it as like a discipline, but definitely use it to your advantage so that the child is getting what they need in terms of progress. This is a quote that I really, really love, and it says, at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of parents. And I really do believe this. The schools that, you know, have good scoring on their tests, most of the time they've seen research shows that it's because the parents are actively involved in what's going on in their academics. And you guys are doing a great job in doing that. You're showing it by being here present tonight, being on the PTA meetings, and always being on board with whatever is going on. So we really appreciate you all, and we just want to tell you all to continue doing that. And if there's any other ways that you feel like you have time to get involved, definitely reach out. Dr. Newbold is allowing parents to come in, and as I mentioned in another meeting, you guys can do hallway duty, cafeteria duty. There's a lot of ways that we can help, get your guys' help here. The students may not like it, but that creates an environment of awareness. There's another adult present that isn't just a teacher. Perhaps that person knows my mom, and I don't want them to be telling my mom I'm over here acting all crazy. So we can definitely use your guys' support here physically as well, if you can, because parental engagement looks different on all sorts of levels. It doesn't have to be physically present, but we are wanting you all to know that the doors are open for you all to come in. This is the ticket out the door, which is essentially an evaluation that the Title I federal programming asks for everyone to do. It's just for us to get feedback on how the meetings were, if there's anything that we need to improve on, or any suggestions that you may have. And with that, that is the final part of our presentation today. Like I mentioned, I know we had some discrepancies in the presentation, but I did want to make sure that our teachers got out of here with enough time to make it home and get ready for the next day, since it is a weekday night. And I really appreciate all of your participation and for showing up and for your patience with those discrepancies, technical difficulties that we were having. Let me hop back over on Teams. And thank you all as well. Don't want to forget about my online. So Dr. Newbold said, second semester, we will have a calendar that comes out for my parents that are here. And can we contact with the teachers via ALEKS for our student, or just continue to go to Infinite Campus? Oof, the teachers are gone for the day. Dr. Newbold, do you know if they can get in contact with them through Alex, I'm not sure. I would say that
I don't.
you
Can
can
you hear me?
email the teacher,
Ms.
or
Juarez, can you hear me?
can send them a message through Infinite Campus. Whatever method works for you. I will definitely find out. To our parents online, this is a work sessions flyer that's laminated. If anyone wants one, you can definitely pick one up. I'm going to have them at the front desk. If you want to stop by and pick one up, you can put this on your refrigerator or wherever is convenient for you. And it just has on here the teachers' names as well as what time they hold their work sessions or tutoring after school, as well as their emails. So if you guys would like one of these, I'm going to have these in the front, or you can definitely always visit me in my office, or I can email it to you all, however you would like. And that is it. Does anyone have any more questions? No? Okay. Thank you guys for coming and being present and for your patience, like I mentioned. Yes, Ms. Hawthorne, I can definitely email it. I'm going to drop my email in the chat just so you guys can send me a message. Thank you all for your patience and participation. I really appreciate it. Attendance. Awesome.